good evening, and welcome to a special episode of Talk of the County. We're not here to talk about Cheltenham tonight, and we're not here to talk about Gloucester City. It's going to be a pod fully about Forest Green Rovers and a special guest. This special guest has made over 600 league appearances, scoring 37 goals and 23 assists. He's made 39 appearances for Wales and 2 goals. I'm pleased to welcome on Robbie Savage. Oh, good evening, Robbie.
How are you, Dan, Sean? You both okay?
Very good, thank you. Thank you for coming. And we have got Sean Baker, the Forest Green fan. Good evening, Sean.
Evening, boys.
Right,
Thanks for coming on, Robbie.
Robbie has taken a bit of time out tonight. He's on 5 Live straight after this, so we'll get cracking straight on. So to start off, Robbie, we'll have a quick talk about your career before we go on to Forest Green. So you've gone into media, and at quite a youngish age. I've got here. You started with BT Sports and BBC 606 in 2010. You started at the BBC.
2010, yeah. I think I was the first player to present 606 coming straight from the pitch at Derby County. So my good friend Jonathan Wall, who's an Altrincham fan, he gave me the opportunity to present 606. So the final whistle would go on a Saturday, and when we were at home, I would go into one of the boxes and go and present 606 with Mark Chapman. So it was good. And now I'm obviously presenting it as a manager. So yeah, it's gone full circle. So it was a great opportunity for me.
So Robbie, obviously, sorry to bring up your age, you're 50 years of age. A lot of players tend to retire and go into coaching, managing, and what have you. Obviously, you've gone into media, and now you've kind of come in at a later age to manage. How does that come about? What made you go kind of full circle and get back into football as in coaching, managing?
Well, I've never really left football. I retired in 2000 was it 10 or 11? And then obviously I was doing the media, and then I had the opportunity to go in as director of football and part owner of Macclesfield. And that was full time really. And I've done that for 4 years. So I've never really been out of football in terms of the media, in terms of, watching it every single day. Love it. Traveling the world, doing World Cups, doing Euros, doing Premier League, doing Champions League. So I've never really left football, but the opportunity to be a manager came about at the start of last season when my partner at Mac, Rob Smethurst, gave me the opportunity because I had an option to leave. But he said, listen, I believe in you. Give it a go here. I did that with an amazing team around me. And as everybody knows, we won the league by 20 odd points, broke every single record in the Northern Premier Division. And then that led into the opportunity sooner than I thought to go to a club like Forest Green. I know Sean wasn't too happy at the start by his tweets. So yeah, but again, that's what I've done all my life. I've tried to do the best of my ability and win people over, and I did it as a player. I've done it to a degree in the media, although in the media you're never going to please everybody. I did it at Macclesfield, and now listen, we've achieved nothing yet at Forest Green. We're doing well at the minute, but we've achieved nothing. But already in a short period of time, me and my staff and my players have done loads because we've galvanised and created an unbelievable environment of Forest Green.
Yeah, you say Sean wasn't too happy. I think with some Forest Green fans, and obviously Sean, you jump in here because you'll know more than me. I think with some Forest Green fans, like Forest Green, they appointed Troy Deeney, they appointed Duncan Ferguson, big names like yourself, Robbie, in the football game, which didn't work out. I think maybe some Forest Green fans and fans outside just thought maybe this was another big name appointment, and was it going to go anywhere? But I talking to Sean, I think that opinion's changed a bit.
I personally, when I first heard about it, I thought what Dan's obviously just explained, I thought it was a bit more of a inexperienced, big name kind of manager, and obviously the National League is a tough league to get out of. But obviously, I was looking through the stats with Macclesfield, the goals scored and all that sort of side of it, and I did actually say to a lot of people it could be a shrewd appointment. I'd say within 8 games of the National League already, I I'd say I've been proven wrong pretty much already. And what I want to elaborate on just quickly is obviously the last time we had a feel-good factor at the club was when we had Rob Edwards. And I've said it quite a lot recently. I feel now, I know, like you said, we haven't won anything or achieved anything on the pitch, so to speak, but the environment around the ground, like before a game, during a game, and even after a game, obviously, I think is better than what we had under Rob Edwards. Do you see that as like a key principle of yours to get results on the pitch?
Listen, the key principles for me are engagement, empowering people, and enjoyment. They're the 3 things. And at Macclesfield, when you've got a fan base who lost their football club, when you go into that, with a business partner in Rob, and then do what we did together, and my staff, the volunteers, the fans, what we created there made me realize that, if you put your mind to anything and you're dedicated and you work hard and you can give everything back and turn every stone over, anything's possible. So again, I understand the negativity from Forest Green fans, because what I've tended to do, because I'm quite insecure as a person, is look at lots and lots of things. I've got better. My eldest son, Charlie, says, "Dad, why'd you look at it?" And again, you do. Subconsciously, you're thinking, what are people saying about me if you win, if you lose? I know there's a lot of people who go on the sites, Macclesfield fans, saying, "Why did I leave?" And I'm happy why I left, and I understand. But first and foremost, everything I do is real. It's emotion. I don't plan anything. Listen, I plan my team and my team talks and my structure of the week. But in terms of the engagement, like going into the fan zone, I've heard you on the pod, Sean. Going into the fan zone. I take myself back to when I was a youngster, and I would see my hero, Mark Hughes, and I was at Manchester United. I went to watch Wrexham, and I'd go to a game early, to wait for the players and look at them and get an autograph, and I take myself back to then, and the young kids and the families in the fan zone, it's their football club. So if they can see the manager or the players, I'll be telling my players to do also. You see the engagement after games, and it's not anything that's planned. It's bringing a club together. Listen, they done really well last year. They did really well. They finished third, 3 minutes from Wembley, lost on penalties. But to have the belief of an Owen Dale, have the belief of Asif and Mark Boyne. Mark Boyne's one of the huge reasons why I'm here. Allowing us to bring 16 players in to change a style of football, which has happened really quickly. Because I've got good players and the right players in the right positions, and they're all working together. So again, do I think we've won the league now by my celebrations? I know we're winding lots of other fans up. Lots of other fans would like to be in our position. They think they've won the league. No, I don't. It's so hard when you've worked all week in any job you do. The reward is usually getting a weekend off. Our reward at the end of the week is to be in the first team and to get a result. So when you've done that, a lot of people, like my father worked 9 till 5 on a Monday to Friday. And then on a Saturday, his relaxation or his reward was coming to watch me play football and have a few pints, and he loved it. Our reward as footballers or football people is being involved on a Saturday, and that emotion when you win. Why not celebrate every win? And that's going to continue to happen. I know when we lose games, I'll be flat and I'll be down, and we are going to lose games, but the celebrations aren't because we think we've won the league. It's because I know how difficult it is. And I know how hard it is to get 3 points in this league. So why not celebrate it? Why not celebrate it with the people, the fans who will be there longer than me? It's their football club. And I've realised that from Macclesfield, the devastation some of those fans had when the club went. They had nothing in the week. They had nothing on a Saturday, generations of families. So the Macclesfield experience for me has been one of the best in my life because I now know, even though I did as a player, because I see my dad travel all around the world to watch me play and what it took to get there, the cost. So I understand it, and it's not an act. It's not a show. It's real. So again, I'm going to continue to do that. If other fans on other clubs aren't happy with it, I've got no problem with it because I'm doing it for my football club. And at this minute in time, my football club is Forest Green. And my staff and my players, my owners, my sporting director, we're all in together. There's an alignment. And you can see that now with the fan base. And I'm sure, as I'm not naive enough to think that if we lost 4 or 5 in a row, people would say, you don't know what you're doing. I get it, I understand it. And the biggest thing for me is, I'm not scared of anything, I'm not scared of the sack. I'm not scared of failure. Because if I do, I know that I've given everything at any given point to be successful. And I'm a realist, I understand football. I've been a pundit talking about manager. I never spoke about manager getting the sack because I didn't believe in it, because I don't know what parameters that manager had to work with. I've understood a lot more now. When I hear pundits and people talking, well, they should have done this, this, and this. I've had 3 or 4 instances this week where only in our walls at Junction 13, we know what's happened, and team selection and stuff. When teams go out, you only know within your close-knit environment why that team has been picked for different reasons. So again, it's hard at times, but it's the best job in the world when you win. It's going to be tough, when we lose. I know Cheltenham are losing quite a lot.
Thanks, mate.
But again, Cheltenham are a fantastic football club. They're above us. They're in a higher league than us. So at this moment in time, to be a league club is amazing. And I hope Cheltenham stay a league club. I really do. And, I live right near Cheltenham. So again, I hope Cheltenham stay up because our aim is to be in the same league as Cheltenham. So at this moment in time, Cheltenham are higher than us. They're doing better than us, and our aspirations are to be in the same league as Cheltenham. But what we've got to do is we've got to work hard and give everything. And it's a tough league. How long did it take Wrexham to get out of it? So we understand there's some big clubs in this league, and it's going to be tough. But one thing's for sure, we're going to be right up there.
From the outside, like I said, for a Forest Green fan, obviously, like Sean, he's caught with the aura at the moment. He's started well. And from the outside, and us at the other side of the border, we don't like to give you too much credit, but it does seem like you've gone in there, Robbie. You've dragged the club together. Everybody's pulling in the same direction. We see the videos after the games where you're getting in with the crowds, even though you've stopped recording. It just seems like you've brought that all into the club. Is that something you've had at other clubs? Have you always been like that as a player?
Yeah, I've always been as a player. You can, when Sean was right. When I was the speculation, and Ash, the lovely gentleman from the Stroud Times, it got put it on social media that I'd been spotted going into ecotricity. It was right. Speculation there, and there was speculation from other Forest Green fans. He's not ready. He's inexperienced. But you can only get experience by going through, being a manager at any level. And I've started at a level which I believe was right for me. I captained 4 Premier League teams. I think I'm the only player to captain 4 Premier League teams. I don't know nobody else has done it. Played numerous times for my country. My son is doing exceptional for Reading, so I watched all the academy games. So I don't believe there's any ex-player or current manager who's got more knowledge of the Premier League down to under 21 football, and I'm including steps 1, 2, and 3 in that. Because the amount of football I've watched, I've been around. at Macclesfield, instead of going to, staying in with my family, I'd be going to watch Step 4 and 5 games. So again, the inexperience was there, but I've gained the experience not only as a football person, being at Macclesfield and being a Premier League player. I had 10 years of sitting in green rooms with Glenn Hoddle, with Rio Ferdinand, Gareth Bale, Harry Redknapp, Chris Wilder. I've had the experience of Martin O'Neill, Nigel Clough, Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce. So, yes, I was inexperienced as a manager, but as a footballing person, I'm probably one of the most experienced people out there. And I've been like a sponge in everything I've done. And I've taken little bits of, stuff from all the managers I've worked with. I've taken stuff from the green room when I've spoken to Glenn Hoddle, and I've spoken to Premier League managers, and I can remember a lot of things. So I was always learning, even though I hadn't been a manager, I was always learning, and it helped my punditry. So again, I was inexperienced, but the experience I've got in football, I don't believe anybody right now at my age has got that many experiences for all the levels, and it's benefiting for the screen right now. But again, it's not me; it's my staff. My staff are hugely vital to me being successful. And John McMahon, who I brought with me, great experience, pro licensed coach. He does most of the sessions. The lads love it. Some of the lads went up to him this week and said in all their time at Forest Green, they've never experienced such great sessions because we play football. And they've got a belief right now that they can beat anybody. We've had a meeting today about tomorrow's Scunthorpe, unbeaten side. We've watched them, and I don't like to focus, guys, on the opposition. So, as I'm just, because this is what I'm taking from me as a player. I think the higher you go as a footballer, the easier it is to retain information. The lower you are, you switch off quicker. So again, my beliefs are, let's see the opposition for 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. As long as we know the shape they'll play, the key player set pieces, which we can do in 3 minutes, then it's about us. And the team, the talk we have on a Friday, it's literally 10 minutes. Get them in the room and I tell them how good they are. They're brilliant. Each and every player in that squad tomorrow are fantastic players playing with such confidence that they believe now they're invincible when they go into that football pitch. And we might get beat. But I've said to you, if you get beat in a way where I can stand in front of the press after the game and say, that's my team. We worked hard, we ran hard, we sprinted more, we had created chances. If we do that, I'll defend my team and I'll take it. And if it's 0-0 and we're going for it and we get hit on the counter attack, I'll take it. I'll say that's my team. I'm proud of them, and go and play with a freedom and an energy that is like no other, and be creative and make mistakes. I'm going to make loads of mistakes as the manager I have, and I've made loads of mistakes in life. But as long as you can't learn from them, so I want my attacking players to make mistakes. When you get 1-on-1, go and take somebody on and get a shot off or get a corner, do something. I'll have a go at them if they go backwards, pass the ball backwards and aren't brave. That's what I don't want. I want my players to be brave and have a go. And if you come off the pitch in 90 minutes and we get beat tomorrow, I know for a fact that I'll be standing in front of the local press and saying I was proud of my team because we did everything right.
Yeah, you touched on Mark Hughes there, so that brings me on to one of my questions. Obviously, he's manager of Carlisle. Do you speak to him regularly and get many tips off him? And also, what does a touchline look like with you and Mark Hughes on it?
Well, Sparky, listen, he was my hero. I tried ringing Sparky numerous times, but everybody knows Sparky will tell you he's hopeless on his phone. He never answers his phone. I don't live far from him. I live 2 or 3 miles from him. I've got huge respect for him. Played with him. I think I was the first player he bought for a transfer fee in his managerial career at Blackburn. So again, he made me captain of Blackburn as well before I broke my leg. Played with him for Wales, played against him, and he's my hero. So, on the sideline, I've never obviously managed against him, but I've got huge respect for him, as I have for every single manager who steps foot in a technical area, because I know how hard the job is. It'll be a tough game. Carlisle are flying, real good team. got some exceptional players, but so have we. So again, it's not about Carlisle on the day. It'll be we'll be going there on my birthday and thinking, let's go and beat them. Let's not talk about them. Yes, they've got good players. Yeah, but we've, in my opinion, we're as good or if not better. And let's go and show what we're good at. Like we've done all season so far. But the guy's a legend. He's my hero, unbelievable football player, and has had an unbelievable managerial career. But on October the 18th, it's Forest Green against Carlisle, and I want my team to run all over Carlisle. They might run all over us, but it'll be a fantastic game. I think we're both linked. I've seen in the press, which is not true. Linked with a player from Peterborough. We have no interest in that player. Our squad's really good. Yes, he's a good player, but again, we've seen stuff on social media this week. I've been linked with, EFL clubs. Again, the first I knew of it was that I seen on there, and the first I knew about, the player from Peterborough last night was on social media. But I can categorically state that neither is true.
Yeah, that's good. Obviously, because that sort of answered one of my questions. Because, like I said, when I went back to Rob Edwards and how good that era was, obviously they sort of won League Two, and then obviously he randomly just disappeared the next day. Obviously, I know you're a lot better mates with Dale, so obviously, that was going to be one of my questions. Was Dale spoke to it about any of that speculation? But obviously, you've more or less just answered that.
They haven't. But listen, we all know football. We all know football. We're all, did I think I would have? Did I think this time last season or 6 months ago, 4 months ago, I'd be Forest Green manager now? No. Did I think I'd be taking Macclesfield up again? Yes, I did. But football moves so quickly. Again, I've got a project here, and again, I'm not going to be a Forest Green for the rest of my managerial career. Two things will happen. Either I get sacked, yeah, or I leave to go to, because I've been unbelievable well at Forest Green, and I've taken Forest Green up, or we've taken them up, me and my staff, and then I get an option to go and manage at a higher level. So those are the two things that are going to happen. When is the right time? Who knows? But again, what Dale's done at Forest Green and what Mark's done in Asif, the training ground is incredible. New ground on the horizon is incredible. The people, and one of the big reasons is like Macclesfield, the people are incredible. Honestly, the first village club to get in the league, I went to Nailsworth before the game, had a coffee. The people were so nice and friendly. Nipped into the wine shop on the corner to get some of the staff a few bottles of wine to say thank you for what they've done in the week. Again, and that, that's what people deserve, because when you've got great staff, they need an arm round them. They need to be told well done as well. So I think if you can get the whole club pulling in the same direction, and it's not by buying them gifts, it's by knowing their first name, knowing what makes them happy, knowing everybody needs an arm round and everybody needs to be told well done, regardless of your position at a football club. So again, I tend to shake everybody's hands, key. So again, as long as you can create a culture and an environment where people want to go into work, and I call it work because it's a job, it's a job like no other. It's the best job in the world, being a footballer or involved in football. If you can create that environment, then you'll have a chance, and everybody's pulling in the same direction. That's the key. The key is that Dale, Asif, Mark, and myself, there's an alignment, and we talk every day. We communicate. We have debate, and we're so supportive of one another. And you can see that on and off the pitch right now, we're in a good place. But as I say, regardless of what happens this season, yeah, we're in a much better place in terms of what we're doing. And again, I've said it. If I was to leave Forest Green in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever happens, the football club will be in a far stronger position.
Is it, Robbie? Is it annoying though? Like you've created this good background, and within Forest Green, you've created this good feel good factor, and then you've got news like that coming out on social media. People say you're not you know, as if you're not a well-known person, you're quite well-known, so it's going to spread everywhere. Does that affect your players? Do the players come and ask you if it's true, or?
Yeah, the three Mac lads who have been, and I heard Sean speak about them, who have been incredible, and we'll go on to the players later. The three Matt lads in front of the players yesterday come up to me and said, "Where are we going next, Gaffer?" And all the lads were hammering them. So again, the players listen, but again, it's just purely speculation, and I think it had over 1 million views. There'll always be speculation about me. If I lost 4 games in a row now, people are saying I might get the sack. I understand it. Again, we're doing well, but the most pleasing thing is that, and I'm really pleased about this, because when the 3 Mac lads come from step 3, now they're in step 2 Macclesfield, I hope they go up, really do. People say, will they be ready? And I remember, because I see everything, trust me, I get sent everything. And I remember Sean's tweet at Slimbridge when he said about Mendy. And Mendy on that day, on a difficult service, was just incredible. And he's been incredible. And at 28 years of age, I'm still in disbelief that, you know, he's not played league football. Will he play league football? Yes, hopefully with Forest Green and ourselves. But, you know, Trey and Kenji also, the dynamism they've got in the fullbacks from the first minute to the 97th minute, they can run at the same pace. Again, the recruitment process was key, but I knew straight away that the way I wanted to play, with the relentless nature of our attacks and playing ringers as fullbacks, I know teams might pinpoint diagonals onto our fullbacks because they're quite small, but again, they're good in the air. They've adapted really well. So for me, the most pleasing thing is that 3 lads who have never been professional footballers have got their names on their shirts. They've moved down. They're embracing it. They're getting paid 52 weeks of the year, because at Macclesfield it was 38 or 40. They give up their jobs. You know, Kenji was a plumber, Trey worked in a school, and Mendy was a kitchen porter. You know, and Trey, when he knew he was coming, he was at work and he actually gave up his job that day. So again, this is what I'm so proud about, is that I've given 3 opportunities to 3 young lads who now are living a dream. And you can see that in their performances. You can see in the under-21s, the 7 loans we've brought in, all got a point to prove and all are hungry to prove, you know, they can play in senior football. And the environment we've created is that it's such a great dressing room, you know, who are all fighting for each other. You know, we've got some brilliant, the squad that was left for me was a very good squad. It finished 3rd. And, you know, unfortunately, when a new manager comes into a club, some players aren't going to be in his plans, and that's what's happened, you know. But as it stands, we're doing things right because we're top of the league. But it's the environment we've created is there for all to see.
Well, you say about the young players, and we spoke about on a previous pod. Again, from the outside, like the Forest Green last season took one of Cheltenham's best midfielders, which was Liam Sercombe, and I'll be very careful because I know that they're still at the club. But you had Sercombe, you had Sean Long, you had Ben Tozer, you know, really, really good professionals. Circ, I was surprised he dropped out of the Football League. But it seems like you've gone a different way this year. It seems like you're going for young, hungry players who have got a point to prove. And maybe that's the way of getting Forest Green back in the Football League, rather than paying the big money, getting players out of the Football League who've maybe not got that desire to you know, saying desire, because every player's got a desire to want to get promotion. But like you said, the 3 lads from Macclesfield, they'll have a point to prove. They'll want to take Football League.
Yeah, but I also believe that, you know, Cirques, Longy, Keane Harries, Maisie, all have got that desire also. It's just unfortunate for them right now that I'm a manager who's gone a different way. They've been professional, they've trained really well, and they've done everything right. And again, they've been brilliant around the place. So again, unfortunately, as a manager, you have to make decisions. And the decision was that I want to go with the players I've brought in. Again, but their professionalism has been absolutely fantastic. You know, and there'll be players coming back when everybody's fit that, you know, there'll be 6 or 7 or 8 who aren't in the squad. And that for the managers is there's some difficult conversations. Harvey Bunker, has played 1 minute of football for us at Morecambe in 8 games. Brilliant player, being so professional, wants to play. All the players at my football club want to play, but I can only select 18 on a match day. And, as a manager, if you select 18, you keep losing games, people will question you. But right now, we're winning games of football in an incredible way, a way which we play. The XG, as everybody sees, is the best XG differential in the whole of the top 5 leagues. I think only Radcliffe in step 2 have got a better XG, but the XG differential, we've got the best. So again, we're doing it in a completely different way to last year. And listen, Forest Green last year finished 3rd. We might finish 5th, playing a different style of football. Who knows? We don't know because it's such a tough league. But I think the fans are engaged. The fans are entertained. The owner's now engaged and entertained. He's loving it. Asif is loving it. Mark is loving it. I'm loving it. But again, I've not lost consecutive games as a manager yet in 51 or 52 league games. I think I've only lost 3 league games. I know it's going to be a point in the season when we lose consecutive games. It's going to happen, and it's then how do I react? I knew how I reacted as a player because there was lots of times I lost consecutive games because the level we played at, and I was in that Derby team that got relegated from the Premier League with 11 points, so I understand it. I haven't understood it yet as a manager because it's not happened, but it will. But that's why I think you need a great team around you. And in my staff I've got at the club, and in my Mark Boyd and in Dale and Asif, I've got great people who will be there for me in the tough times. And we can enjoy the good times, but the tough times, I'm going to have to experience them to be a better manager.
Yeah, to be fair, I can vouch for a lot of the fans, and I know they're enjoying the football that we're watching this season. I sit right in front of Dale, and I can hear him, as well. So I know he's enjoying it. Obviously, we're on about the players. What have you done with Tom Knowles this season? Because last season he started off really good, and he seemed to just lose all his confidence like really quickly. And this season he's come back. He's like a new signing. He's like, from watching him, I think he's got I think it's 4 goals and 5 assists or something already, and he only got 2 goals and 2 assists last season. And he just looks like a completely different player this season. Have you done anything different with him?
Well, I've told Knowles he's got to be better from 55 yards out. He keeps hitting the post. So what I try and do with every player, and I take it from me as a player. So I was very insecure. I was a worrier. Even though I played 350 Premier League games, I was a worrier. And even if I played well, I'd be ringing Mark Bowen, who was assistant manager at Birmingham, assistant manager at Blackburn after the game, saying, "Do you think I'll play the next game?" Because I wanted to play that much. So to take that worry off me, I wanted an answer, even though I knew deep down that I'd be playing, but I wanted that reassurance. So when I've gone in and I've assessed the squad, Knowlesy was energy, and I said to him, "Why haven't you played?" And he just said, "Well, circumstances." Anyway, I see Knowles as a right back because that energy, because I play wingers as fullbacks, as you know. And he was magnificent. His stats in training were up there. His sprint distances, his meters per second, because I like to play with pace and athleticism. And Nosey was continuously at the top. And I've said to Tom, who was brilliant at sports and our sports science coach, is unbelievable. And I get the stats every day, and I look at them every day. And Nosey was continuously up there, and he's quick as well. Anyway, so straight away, I'm thinking, right, where can I play Nosey? But again, I brought Trey and I brought Kenji in, yeah, and obviously Jamie Robson, who was brilliant for the football club player of the year, went to Oldham. So Kenji now has been unbelievable, has held down that place. Trey's held down the place. Nosey started at Halifax, was brilliant. Then he was left out, and then he started the weekend. Was the 2 last games he started, I think, have been brilliant. So what I've done with him is I've just continuously tell him how good he is. It's as simple as that. Listen, Nosey, you're a brilliant player. You've played higher. When you go onto that pitch, You can run, you got great energy, you got great personality, and you're a threat. I said, go and believe in yourself. And if you lose the ball, Nosey, being positive, I'm not going to have a go at you. And I said, if I have a go at you, I'm wrong. I said, when you get that ball, take people on, be brave, and do what you're good at. And what you're good at is creating a positive energy around the group as your personality, your character. The lads love him. Yeah. I put an arm around him and I just consistently tell him how good he is. And on Saturday, Sean, if you were there, 50 minutes at half time, we're 1-0 up against unbeaten Hartlepool until they faced us. We've got the goal, Nosey set it up. So at half time, because I turned to John and my coaching staff and I said, right, we're just getting a little bit caught here in the midfield. We were a little bit too open, but I want an open game of football, but it was slightly too open. If it would have been 0-0, I'd have probably left it the same. But at 1-0, thinking if we can get another one, we're done. The game's done. Because I don't think anybody will score 3 against the same. I might get beat 3-0 tomorrow. This will be. So at half time, I said to all the players, right, you've all been magnificent. You've all been brilliant. But 1-0 up, you've been terrific. I said, so after 5 or 10 minutes, or if the game continues, I'm going to make a couple of subs or a sub for the benefit of the team. And Nosey right now has been, for me, one of our star players, one of our best players of the season. And if there was a player of the year vote now, Nosey would be in the top 3. So sometimes you have to look at the team over the individual and think, right, we went to a 5, big Ryan Innes, who's been brilliant. He come on to make the 5. So I wanted to go with 1 6 and 2 8s. So I usually play with 2 6s and a 10, Nick Horton. So I went and I put Nick off the front man, didn't I, Cairo? So I wanted to go with 3 8s. And so Nosey come off, I put Ryan on, and I went with Mendy, and I brought Carl inside, didn't I? And Whitwell, who's been terrific. And I went Kenji left wing back, Trey right wing back. I had to sacrifice Nosey. So when the board went up, I could see Nosey's shoulders shrink and like a face on him. And as he was coming off, I said, "What's up?" "Yeah, I want to stay on." I said, "No, you do. Everybody does, because it's that enjoyable, and you believe that you can score. You believe that you can get another assist. But right now, the team is bigger than the individual." But the first thing I said to him is, "You're starting against Gunthorpe. You're playing against Gunthorpe. So take that worry, take that anxiety." And I said, even if now we win the game 5-0, you're playing next Saturday. And then in the car on the way home, I rang him and I said, "You were terrific. You were brilliant. You're playing Saturday. So have that 2 days off for your family, thinking how good you've been, not worrying about you come off." And that's what I wanted as a player. And I try and treat all my players like that. So again, he bounces into training on Tuesday. He was magnificent again. And now he's playing tomorrow. So again, the team will always come before an individual, and I will leave top players out of a team if the team benefits on that game from that decision. So I've just told him how good he is. And I believe that as a man manager, I can get the best out of individuals and the collective. And again, I'll get things wrong. I will. And not every player will like me. Listen, if you're not in a team, did I like my manager if I wasn't playing left back? No, you'd have respect for him, but you wouldn't like him. So again, I know there'll be players in our 27, 28 when I pick teams that won't like me. That's football.
But you'll see as well, though, Robbie, that, and I'm sure you know this, but obviously players, if you're losing 4, 5, 6 games and you're being taken off like that on Saturday, players will ask the question. They're slumping, they're probably sore for a week. But I'm sure when you're being proactive, because you can see something happening in the game and it's for the good of the team, at that final whistle, I should imagine he was in the changing rooms tapping everybody on the back, and and it's all forgotten about.
Yeah, and the environment we've created. So after the game, so what I like to do is for my team and my players is to let them spend time with their family. That's what I love. I like spending time with my family. Nigel Clough, when I was in the latter stage of my career, would say to me on a Saturday if we won, he said, "Right, you're right, yeah, family okay, yeah." He said, "See you Friday. See you Friday." He'd do that to certain individuals. He said, because he trusted me, knew me. And I'll be doing that with some of my players, the older ones, because family time's so important. So on Saturday, I said to the lads, and what we do, we have a structure of the month, we put it in their group, and we have a structure of the week. So they all know what they're doing, they can plan. There's nothing worse than as a player that if you get beat or something happens, you're brought in as to watch a video, because you're only doing that for yourself. You're not doing it for the players, you're doing it for yourself emotion. And if you have if you shout at them, loudly after the game at halftime, that emotion is you're only doing it for you. You're not getting your message across. So again, I've learned that, I've adapted that. And then so on the group we had, because we didn't have a midweek game this week, we said Saturday game, Sunday off, whatever happens, they all know they've always got a Sunday off. I'll never bring my team, my staff in on a Sunday if we lose a game to watch a video. It's no point. You're only doing it for you. Time's better spent at home. So in the group, we had paddle tournaments at we're partnered with a club in Gloucestershire, the paddle club, I think. So they were having a paddle tournament. So what they did on the Friday was the elder lad sent in Mendy and Train to see me. They knocked on my door and then Gaffer said, yeah, the lads want to know if he can have Monday off. So they sent the Matt lads in. I went, oh, have they really? So anyway, I went out to them, traded, and I said, listen, lads, paddle tournament Monday. So we won the game on Saturday. So we're walking in after I've singing with the crowd. And all the lads, as I walk in, they all start shouting back at me, going, off, 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 off. So I went, you want Monday off, do you? No paddle tournament. So I said, let's have a vote. And I went around the room and they all said off. So I said, listen, I've sat Sunday, Monday off. And they all started dancing and cheering, the music on. And listen, that's what we're creating. It's personable, it's relatable, and it's fun, and that's what Dale wanted. And I my relationship with Dale is unbelievable. I get on so well with him. Speak to him every day. He cares about the football club. He cares about people. He cares about me. And I know that. And with that, and I say for Mark, because I'll always bounce ideas off Mark. And I was a director of football at Macclesfield. And sometimes, as a director of football, people say if you ask a question or if you maybe say about a team, people think you're interfering. I want that. I want that with Mark, not him to interfere because he doesn't. But I'll ask him. I'll ring him up 10 times a day, or in my office. We got office next to. I'll knock on his door. Say, what do you think about this? Because I'm secure in my own self to know that I can make decisions for the benefit of me and the team. So again, I'll be clear in my own thinking, but if I've got a slight doubt, the experience of Mark, what he did at Reading, what he's done in his footballing career, I'll knock on his door and I'll ask him, what do you think? And he'll say, honestly, but again, he'll always say, your decision. I'll ask, like today, my staff. I asked my staff everybody, and I think we got 8 or 9 staff, 10 staff. I'll ask them all what their team is tomorrow. They all tell me their team because I like different opinions, different voices, different ideas. Tomorrow, the team was virtually the same. But the problem I have tomorrow is the bench. I've got one injury tomorrow. Somebody who started last week will be out of the team, but we know who's going to go in for him, which is a blow. But the bench, I'll be bringing, there's 2 choices. I've got to make one. Which person will make the bench? But again, I'm quite clear now after asking Mark, after asking my staff, and now I'm clear in my own mind. I've been writing it down, looking at solutions, looking if A, B, and C plan happens. If we go down, can I go with 2-10s? Who would it be? If we go 2 goals up, who can it be coming on to short it up? So I've got plan A, B, and C, D in my head already for tomorrow. And my staff are on the same page. So again, I'm very lucky to have such a great support network around me.
Brilliant.
Also, just quickly, I just want to move away from
any long, are they?
No. I just want to move away from the team a minute. Well, not really, actually. Obviously, with the festive period coming up and that, what does a Robbie Savage Christmas party look like for you and the players?
Yeah, listen, I'm not one. Sean, in my footballing career, I was that dedicated. I didn't drink. My footballing career was virtually getting the best out of me every single training session. When I drove into work, and I say work, or the job I loved, I wanted to be the best player I could possibly be. So I would make sure that I would recover, I would do things right. I would, 2 days before a game, I would sleep in separate rooms from my wife, to make sure that I was focused. Everything was about a match day. Everything was about training because I knew it was a short career. So again, Christmas parties, never really been into. I've never been into parties really. So again, but what I want to do is I want my team to enjoy themselves within, have a camaraderie, have a togetherness, have a spirit. And we created that in Germany when we went away in pre-season. And at Christmas they'll have their night out, they'll enjoy it, they'll embrace it, they'll be respectful, and the Forest Green players, and everywhere they go, they represent me and my football club. So again, they do things with it, do things right. But I'm all for them, enjoying themselves and relaxing. At Macclesfield, we've got 3 promotions. We took the lads away on holiday at the end of every season, for a reward. So Christmas parties for me, I'll have it with my staff. I like a nice meal. Listen, I like a glass of red wine now and then. But that's it. That's me. And to bed early, because I've always been dedicated and professional, and I expect my players to be exactly the same.
To be fair, I can see that already with the players, what you've all just said on the pitch, like the way they conduct themselves, the way, they play, the way they are. I think.
But you can be like that, Sean. You can be like that. And some people will say, well, he's unprofessional going in the crowd. And and would you see a Premier League manager doing that? Probably not. But again, that's just me. And I'm not going to change. Wherever I go, wherever I am, after games in the Premier League, I would be doing the same. That's me. And I'm not going to change because, I'm 50 now. Probably what? Who knows? I might have a year left as a manager if I'm hopeless. I might have 10 years, I might have 15, I might have 20 years. But I'm going to enjoy every single moment of the wins. And if that's going into the crowd, holding the camera up, singing, engaging the fans, bringing the youngsters onto the pitch to do the celebrations at the end, I'm going to continue to do that because I'm loving it. And I know there'll be lows, so I'm going to enjoy the highs. And some people might say, well, that's unprofessional. But do you know what? That's me. And I'm not going to change. And that's what I do. But it's not because I think we're the best and we're going to win the league and it's disrespectful. No, it's not. It's because I'm enjoying it and it's fun and it's entertaining and it's the buzz you get from a win, and you've got all the fans singing, and it's honestly, it replicates and win as a Premier League player. But do you know what? The biggest thing I'll say is it's better. When you're a manager, winning is better than when you're a player.
The home fans love it, and I know they don't want it to stop or change. I think it's just the rival fans. But obviously, if we win Saturday, you need to get up on the drum.
But you know what, Sean and Dan? What will happen is when we get beat, I know what will come. Happened at Macclesfield, the 3 games we lost. The celebrations from opposition where they beat Macclesfield. So I understand it. And I know for a fact if Scunthorpe, if they win tomorrow, they're going to have to play ever so well and they're going to have to be a fantastic team. That's one thing I know. And if they do it, I'll shake the manager's hand, who's done brilliant, by the way. And I'll be saying, well done, you deserved it. Because to beat us, you're going to have to deserve it. It's as simple as that. And I know you're going to have to be an exceptional side. You're going to have to run more. You're going to have to work harder. And you're going to have to do brilliant things to beat us. Yeah? And if they do it, celebrate with your fans, enjoy it. Because I know for a fact, if I was Scunthorpe tomorrow and you come to Forest Green, 8 goals scored at home, non-conceded, and you win, I'll be celebrating like I would be in front of my away fans and enjoy it. And the bus journey back would be fun. I'd get the lads a few beers, get the music on and enjoy it. And I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with that because that's what I'd do. So again, I know it's going to come. I know it's going to come if we play York, if we lose tomorrow, if we lost to Carlisle, Rochdale, Braintree. Whoever we play, when they beat us, it's going to be celebrations, and deservedly so, because they're going to deserve it.
Brilliant. I just obviously, because I know you got to get on, Robbie.
I've got another 5 or 10 minutes.
Brilliant. So that's good then, because we got some quick fire questions about Robbie Savage. Whether you want to give a long answer or a short answer is up to you. Who did you support as a boy?
Wrexham. My first Wrexham, obviously, I had some Mickey Thomas, some unbelievable players. Just stand on the Cop, watching Wrexham play in the Welsh Cup in Europe, in the league. So Wrexham, but Liverpool was my team because my brother was Manchester United. But then, 14 when I went to Manchester United, I don't support anybody now. So really now, I'm a supporter of my ex teams, but now probably Reading because my son's there. Whoever my son plays for, I'll be a supporter.
Brilliant. Ground you hated playing at?
None. Loved them all. Magnificent. What an atmosphere. Listen, I played in some remarkable stadiums. San Siro for Wales, Millennium Stadium when we beat Italy 2-1, Villa Park, the first games back in the Premier League when we won 2-0. St Andrews, what a ground. Every ground, Old Trafford. Listen, I played in the biggest stadiums, and I loved everyone.
So if you loved everyone, there's got to be one you loved playing at. So what was your best one?
I like Villa Park. Great atmosphere, great old ground, brilliant ground.
Brilliant. Who was the hardest player you ever played against?
Steven Gerrard. Brilliant. Listen, played against some of the my generation. I was playing against on any given Saturday. Macclesfield, Gerrard, Alonso, Keane, Vieira, Petit. The list goes on. Okocha, Jokev. The list goes on. So Scholesy, Beckham. Listen, again, there's another debate with the generation I played in. Was it better that generation in the Premier than now? That's another
Absolutely,
debate.
in
But
my
again,
opinion.
so Steven Gerrard.
Brilliant. And obviously you've played for Birmingham, so you would have played in the Birmingham Villa. You would have played for Leicester, so Leicester Coventry, Leicester Forest, Derby Forest. How is it going to compare if you get Forest Green up and you get to manage in the Al Glossico?
It'd be brilliant. Listen, I remember my son Charlie. I think he got taken off after 40 minutes. I think they were 3-0 down at Cheltenham. 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 3-0 half time, and Duncan Ferguson, who was brilliant, by the way, with my son Charlie, and I'll always have huge respect for Duncan, the way he was with my son. Honestly, he was magnificent, and what a lovely gentleman he was with me and my family. But that was they lost 3. I was it 3-0. Well, I can't remember the score, but it was 3-0 half time. He took Charlie off. I'd love to manage against Cheltenham. It's a wonderful football club. I know you two have digs at each other, but I really hope Cheltenham stay up because there's more likelihood, I believe, right now of us coming up, of us playing in that league by us coming up. The worry would be with the Cheltenham start, that they can't turn it around, but I think they will. They got a fantastic manager. It's I really hope they stay up, and I'd love to manage against Cheltenham and take all 6 points.
Well, the positive thing for us today, we've been taken over by Mike Garlick, former Burnley chairman, so things are on looking up. But the one thing I wanted to leave with, for any Forest Green fans listening, what would you say to them? What would the message be to the Forest Green fans?
Well, I would say one thing I do know, and one thing I've learned over my time, especially at Macclesfield, that I know how important fans are to any football club. They will be there longer than, some owners, certainly managers, and certainly players. Whatever happens, they will turn up to watch that football club every single week, home and away. And I know we get a little bit of slick about our size of our crowd, but if you're thinking pro rata fan per population of Nailsworth, we're probably one of the biggest in world football. What is it? I think we had 2,800 fans there at the weekend. I think it was 150 away fans. So if you think 2,650 home fans, the population of Nailsworth is what? I don't know. I would suggest how much?
Like 5,000.
So again, if you think about that in pro rata, how well are we doing right now? So I would say to Forest Green fans, be proud of your football club. Be proud of, what we are, be proud of everything we do, embrace it. But I know for a fact that everything I do is for the benefit of Forest Green. It's not for me. It's not for me. I've had an unbelievable, successful footballing career, media career, and this is my next journey. And I guarantee them that whatever happens, win, lose or draw, that every time we take to the pitch or go to Junction 13, we'll conduct ourselves and represent their football club in the best possible way. Whether that's me, my players, my staff, all pulled together. And whatever happens at the end of this season, I can guarantee them that they would have enjoyed their football. They will want to come and watch us next season, whatever league we're in. They'll be looking forward to it, knowing that this team and this management will be playing entertaining, energetic football with the aim is to win every single game. If we're drawing, we're going to try and win, and if we're winning, we want to win by more. And it was quite funny on Saturday. I said to the manager and the captain have to give the team sheets into the referee, to both sets. So I was with Simon, who I know, their captain, the referee, me and Geordie. And I said, he said, anything, guys? I said, yeah, just a quick one. I said, from the first minute, please. I'm not saying Simon's team's going to do it. I'm not saying Simon's team's going to do it, but the amount of time the ball is out of play and nobody's in a rush to get it back, can we add the time on, please? So because Sean, you've seen it, people just slow the game down. I would do that if I come to Forest Green. But again, the ball in play must be 22, 23 minutes because it's taken ages to take a throw-in, a free kick, or goal kick. And I'd do the same if I was an opposing player at Forest Green. So I said to the referee and Simon, can you just watch, please, that the time added on? And Simon said, well, you won't be saying that. If you're winning the game. I said, yeah, we'll be, because if we're winning the game, I want to score more goals. So again, that's the philosophy we've got, and the fans can be sure that they're going to see a brand of football, which they're seeing, and regardless of the situation, it'll be that, and just embrace it. And I know for a fact that what your football club means to the community. And one thing's for sure is whatever happens to me as a manager, whether it goes good or bad, the football club will be in a brilliant position when I leave, because that's what will happen eventually, whether it's, through results being terrible or results being brilliant. But one thing's for sure, I'm on a journey, and I'm so excited to see where we can go. Because I know in the 4 years I'm at Forest Green, I honestly believe that we will be an EFL team. But it might take a year, it might take 2, it might take 3. But I honestly believe in the 4 years, we've had one transfer window.
Yeah.
One. And look what we've done. So again, you imagine 3, 4, 5 transfer windows. Yeah, what could happen? So again, I'm not just thinking of taking Forest Green to the League 2. I'm thinking of taking Forest Green to League 1.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right, Robbie, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much for coming on. I say this as a Cheltenham fan. I genuinely wish you all the best. You're a top guy. You come across a top guy, and you're taking time out tonight.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks for...
basically, just probably on behalf of all the Forest Green fans, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Listening to you. Can't wait for tomorrow's game. So, looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
I'm saying to everybody, download the podcast. Listen, I understand when you have startups, you need engagement, you need views, and I'll retweet it for you. And if it can get your numbers and people listen, it'd be great for you both. So I know how hard it is. So anything I can help in the future, just let me know.
Brilliant. Thank you, Robbie. So thank you for everybody for listening. Please join us over the weekend when we'll be talking Cheltenham, Crawley, Forest Green, Scunthorpe, and Gloucester City versus Chippenham. We'll see you then.